remember, I always say a problem is not a problem until it becomes a problem, and then there's usually a way to solve it.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have an exciting show at the Wise Agent Society Sharpen the Saw Zoomcast. Today we're going to be visiting with my good friend and work associate, all the things, Les Coleman out of Las Vegas. He is a phenomenal fella. He owns multiple businesses, sells a ton of real estate, and is one of the nicest and most professional people I've ever met in Las Vegas. And I'm so excited that you're here. Thanks for joining us today, Les.
Thank you, my man. Well, why you got to be so kind to me?
Because you're a good dude. You know, it's hard to know, what am I going to make up bad things about you? Plus, you're twice as big as I am, so I'd never do that. You'd squish me.
I'm big at heart. I'm just a big teddy bear, dude. That's all.
You are a gentle giant. And that's what part of what I love about you. So thank you, though, for joining us today. We're going to be talking about your businesses that you own. We're going to talk a little bit about how we met, all that stuff. Then we're moving into the firearms, CCW, and realtor safety training kind of all in one.
Okay.
So we should go ahead and just start about kind of how we met. Do you want to explain how we met in the first place?
So about 8 to 10 years ago, we did a transaction together. And the transaction went so smooth. And I'm like, I like this guy. It was like instant connection. Dude, you're my bromance. But anyway, and then after we did that, I had a client moving from San Diego. So I sent you the referral. And of course, you guys did a great job with it. She moved here. She bought a house cash after she spent that. After she sold that little bitty house in San Diego.
Yep.
So then we ended up working together, and I'm like, okay. And I remember when we were in Dallas and we hung out, and I ran the Tahoe up on the curb where we all packed into the car. It was a good time.
That is a funny story. So we were at Keller Williams VIP, specifically in Northwest Vegas. No, Northwest Vegas, yeah. And great office, great people there. And we were down in Dallas for Keller Williams family reunion, the big conference for that. And we were out to dinner or whatever, and we were going somewhere else, and we all piled in. Like, how many people were in that Tahoe?
Like there was 10? Probably about 12 people about 10 to 12 people in the Tahoe.
Yeah, there were people in the trunk, like all squished up, and oh man, that was a fun time. We had.
I don't know. Should I mention there was a few libations involved?
Well, there were. Yeah, that was for sure. Which where the heck we dropped to? Why did we drop somewhere?
No, we ended up at that nightclub. When the operating principal ended up doing he bought the whole VIP section out, remember?
Oh, yes. Wow. That was crazy.
Yeah, we had a blast.
It was a fun time. Yeah, super fun time. So Les and I have been great friends basically from the beginning. That was a super smooth transaction. I always appreciate, and that was in Las Vegas. You had the listing and I had the buyer, if I remember right, and it was super smooth. So it's nice when you meet somebody on the other end who doesn't have a bunch of ego and isn't trying to like do weird stuff. And it's like, hey, we're professionals. We're working through this. We're going to get this done. And then it goes that way. It's so nice when that happens.
That's right. Especially when we're working for the same common cause. And that's to get to an end of a transaction and everybody's happy.
Right. And it's a fair shake for everybody. That's what I say is you're trying to get a fair shake for everybody. We're representing our client and you're representing your client. But we want it to be as fair as we can be for everybody because that's the name of the game. It's the name of the game isn't how can we screw somebody over the hardest. That's not how it works. But for some reason, I feel like people get their ego or they've been taught that to be a good business person, you need to be getting something up over on somebody or being aggressive. And that is 1,000% not the way it works. Do you agree with that?
No, not at all. I totally agree. Real estate should be no nonsense. Again, everybody representing their parties and coming to a meeting of the minds, and everybody's happy at the end of the transaction.
Yep. As happy as they can be. Now, sometimes there are bumps in the road, and then we have to do the best we can, but that's real estate. That's business in general.
Well, that's true. But remember, I always say a problem is not a problem until it becomes a problem, and then there's usually a way to solve it.
Agreed. That's right. And I think that's what makes people like you strong professionals, is that you can overcome problems. And I think that's largely what real estate agents, good ones do in the end, is problem solve.
Mm-hmm. Well, it also helps that I've pretty much been on all sides of real estate, except for title and probably appraisals. That's it. Yeah. But I've been a lender. Yeah. I've been a lender. I've been in the early 2000s, I was a lender, but before that, I was an agent in Chicago. So I've been an agent since 1989.
Oh, wow. This is cool. This is a good segue, because I wanted to talk a little bit about how you got into real estate. And so you started in Chicago until when?
Yeah, and it was I was with a company called Realty and Mortgage in Chicago. So what happened was, and it was crazy, I started out in property management. I lived at an apartment complex, and the regional manager for Realty and Mortgage also lived at the apartment complex, and her husband ran the office. Believe it or not, I worked for a water company, driving a big truck delivering water.
Oh, wow.
When it's below zero outside. And I would go in the office on my way home every day, and I would speak to these people. Well, this lady saw something in me, and she asked, well, first of all, what do you do? And I told her what I did, water sales. Oh, because you speak very eloquently and everything in it. How would you like to get into real estate? Okay. What does it entail? She explained that to me. A week later, I was hired. And then she told me, well, you got to go get your real estate license. So I went out and I took the test, and I passed the test. And next thing you know, we're selling commercial real estate while we're running a property management group.
Okay.
She sold this major apartment complex, and she moved to Orlando, Florida. Okay. So I worked until like 1997, and then I ended up moving to Las Vegas. Well, I went back into what I knew, property management. Okay. And I was doing property management, and I purchased a home in Las Vegas from one of my guys who was a lender. He said, dude, I like the way you handle yourself. You ever thought about being a lender? So I said, well, sure. So from 2000 to 2007, I was a lender.
2000, so about 7 years.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah. Well, what's going on?
Listen.
Okay, so from 2000 to 2003, I did it in Las Vegas. Well, the same person who got me into real estate in 1989 says, hey, I own a Century 21 in Orlando, Florida. Why don't you come out here and work, and you can have an office in my office, and we can feed you all our deals. Oh, wow. I was doing really well. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I sold my house here in Las Vegas, and I moved to Orlando, Florida.
Wow. Okay.
And I literally started working for Own It Mortgage, which was a subprime lender, but I set up my office in a Century 21. And I sat there and I did all of their deals.
Wow.
So, yeah. And then, of course, the market crashed. And when the market crashed, at the same time, my mom wasn't doing so well. And I said, well, it's an opportunity to sell all my stuff and move back to Vegas. So I did that. And, of course, what did I do? Go back into property management. Okay. because I knew it.
Yes.
At that time, I was working for ERA, and I ended up getting my real estate license. But in between that, I purchased another home here. Mm-hmm. I didn't like my realtor. I could never reach her. I'm like, oh my God, this is nuts. So I got my real estate license here, and I've been doing well ever since.
Awesome. So how long since when the last time you moved back to Vegas? So when was that again?
I moved back here in 2007.
2007. So 2007. So now you've been steady Eddie doing real estate.
That's correct.
Okay, and then that's great. And then now the cool thing is now you have a whole bunch of other businesses too, right? So
I do.
why don't you let us know? I know. Well, I know a couple of them. I know you have an epoxy
I do.
company, and actually, you just told me that you now do. What's the other thing you do now?
I own a mobile car wash company.
Mobile car wash. That is awesome. And then, of course, what we're here to really talk about, which we're going to get into in a minute, is you have a CC. What do you call it? CCW training.
We have firearms training that offers CCW.
Okay, firearms training that offers CCW. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So the final thing, I don't know, it's funny, but it's the cool thing about all the businesses you own is that I love them all. Like there's stuff that I'm passionate about too. So I think it's so cool that you're doing all stuff that I love and think is cool too. Like one of my first jobs was a car wash. I love washing and detailing cars. I epoxy every garage floor I get on a house that I buy. I think it's like a huge ROI. I think everybody should do it. It makes the space easier to clean. It's more fun to be in and work in if you like tinkering around in your garage. So I think that's awesome.
The good thing about that is, usually I don't know how you guys buy houses, but this is how I buy a house. My wife will go in and look at the inside. I will look at the backyard and look at the garage.
Yes, same.
That's how I buy houses.
That's exactly how we do it. Jen likes the kitchens and the walk-in closets and the whatever, and I look at the garage. We were just looking at another house down the way, and it had short garage ceilings. Like mine are like, 15 feet or more, and my garage doors are 8 feet instead of 7 feet. So I've historically driven around a big truck, and I've never been able to park it inside because it's like 7 foot 1 inch. So I couldn't quite get it into garage doors. And
right.
This one has big garage doors. So all that stuff makes it like, I love it. I like to have a good garage. And of course, both of us love, a few other things. But as far as business goes, I love firearms. I like guns. I like shooting guns. I like gun safety. I mean, of course, I feel like you have to be a responsible person. You can't just have guns and be willy-nilly. So that part I love and I'm passionate about. And then a couple of things that are not business related, but we both like cigars and whiskey and drinks like that.
Most definitely. We'll have
to try to catch one when I'm there in Vegas.
That's okay, because I'm gonna tell you, I have an electronic humidor full of them.
Dude, that's sick. I just brought a couple of Cubans back from Canada. Shh, don't tell anybody. I guess that was illegal.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So then, well, first of all, how do people contact you about epoxy and mobile car wash?
Okay, so I usually give them something happened. Oh, there you go.
Did you see that? Look at Tara. She was on top of that.
There you go. That's for the epoxy company.
Okay.
That's for the epoxy company. It has the phone number there, but I give everybody my regular phone number, which is 702-426-2290. So I have 3 phone numbers, but I end up giving everybody my regular phone number.
That's, it's funny. Over the years, I've had business lines and, I have teams and operations in 3 different cities and states, and it's just easier to give them my direct cell. I stopped putting it's just easier for people. If it goes to the line or somebody else, who knows if they're going to answer. At least I know I'll actually talk to them.
Right.
Cool. Okay, and then for mobile car wash, just give you a call or reach out to you on maybe social media or something.
That's it.
Okay, good deal.
That's it.
Okay, well then let's get into the meat and potatoes here about your firearms training. What's the name of that company, or what do you call it?
The firearms training is called Precise and Safe Firearms Training.
Precise and Safe.
That's correct. The funny thing is how I got into it. Okay. I got into it. I've been a competition shooter since 2013. A friend of mine said, "Hey, come on out and try shooting skeet." And I went out and I was addicted. Okay. Yeah. And
skeet's fun.
Shooting skeet is fun. And to get into competition, for the amount of rounds you put through a gun, I had to buy a quality gun. So
Yep.
My gun cost me about complete about $14,000.
What? Your competition
Yes,
skeet shooting gun?
my competition skeet shooting gun cost me about $14,000.
What kind of gun is that? I didn't even heard of a 14,000 gun.
I have a Beretta DT10, which is $10,000 to start.
Okay.
And then to be able to shoot all gauges, because skeet consists of 12 gauge, 20 gauge, 28 gauge, and 410, you have to send the gun into a company, and then they have to make these special tubes to go inside so you can shoot all calibers out of the gun.
I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, wow. Yeah. But in order to do that, because 410 is such a light load, they also have to customize the trigger for it.
Oh.
Okay. And then being a big guy, they had to make the stock longer, and then they have to make adjustable cheek, rest, everything. It's insane.
On the trigger, do they change the? Is it customizable? Like you could change it for whatever load you're shooting? Like
no.
Or is it just
what happens is they have to change it to what's called an inertia trigger. An inertia trigger is because of the amount of kick it has to be able to shoot and go to the second barrel. So because 410 is such a light load, they had to make a light trigger for it.
Oh.
So
you have a light trigger for all ranges.
Yes.
That's fascinating. I had no idea. I've shot like 12 gauge at skeet in the farm field. That's as much of my skeet shooting goes.
Right. Well, you know what? When you come to Vegas, you need to go out with me.
So, I would sometime.
Okay. So the way I got into firearms training is I've always had a passion for firearms. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then when the pandemic hit, everyone went out and bought firearms. Mm-hmm. Well, since people knew I was a competition shooter, I had people at gun stores calling me from the gun store. Hey, I just bought this gun. Can you show me how to use it? Well, of course, that's an opportunity to start a company, start a business. Mm-hmm. So I turned it into a business, and it's been thriving ever since.
That's awesome. Were you doing certifications or training before the pandemic, or just started then?
No, I started during the pandemic.
Wow. For some reason, I feel like you've done it forever. Well, that's cool.
Well, no, you probably see my Facebook post with me shooting forever.
Yep.
So,
yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. That was probably it. That's cool. That is so cool.
Yeah. Actually, in 2017, I went and shot in the World Championships in San Antonio. And in my class, I came in 10th in the world.
Wow. That's awesome, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cool. I'm nowhere near any kind of professional. So, if I come out, you got to show me the tips and tricks because I won't know.
Not a problem.
I'm more of like drink beer and shoot guns.
Which is not a good combination.
Well, a couple beers. I didn't say we're getting hammered, No.
You just turn it around. You shoot guns, then drink beer.
Oh, that's even smarter. See, they're teaching me things and we haven't even started. Cool. So why don't we go into a little bit of what your training entails? Or maybe even before we do that, you teach a lot of CCW training to realtors, or what is your customer base like?
Majority of my customer base is realtors. I get a lot of people from Facebook because I post when I'm having a class, and then former class, attendees will share it to their sphere of influence. And next thing you know, I have a whole bunch of people calling me up. Hey, when are you teaching your classes?
Very good. And can people come from any brokerage, anywhere, anything?
Yeah, people can come from any brokerage. I literally, about a month ago, I taught a class at Sotheby's.
Oh, very cool.
Okay. The only thing I do is I be fair and not try to get people to come from Sotheby's to my agency.
Hey, everybody's trying to improve their numbers at where they're at. But no, I mean, you're offering a service that isn't about that. It's just about helping agents be safe and know how to have gun safety and be safe when they're out and about.
Well, that's true. And unfortunately, we live in a time right now where things happen. I've had to pull my firearm twice this year.
No kidding.
While doing real estate. Mm-hmm.
What? There was a time that I had to once on the east side of town, over there on East Craig Road. I can't remember what, but I mean, it was a legitimate drug den, like crack den.
Mm-hmm.
And, one of them I had to go through and clear it. Somebody had broken in or something. And then I started hearing stuff. It got crazy. So, I pulled my firearm out ready for somebody to kill me. And luckily nobody was there. Or I think they actually jumped out the window before something. It was sketchy, man. My heart was racing, dude.
Oh yeah. And I had to pull mine at I sold this $1 million house in Section 10 of Las Vegas. And the day before closing, the other agent went to do the walkthrough, and she walked in with her client, and there were 5 people in the house. Now, the good part about it was that they had done no damage. Okay. All right. Someone had left one of the back doors open. That's how they got in. And I happened to be right around the corner. So I walked in and I literally pulled my firearm and emptied out the house. So yeah.
Wow.
And then
that's crazy. Second time, 10 is a pretty nice area too. So
it is.
It just happened to be that people saw an opportunity and tried to take it.
Yeah. And then the second time, it was a probate situation where the stepmom and the stepson got into it, and I literally had my listing paperwork there. I set it on the counter. He grabbed it, ran upstairs. He came downstairs with a samurai sword, and he pulled the samurai sword out of the sheath, and I pulled my gun out of the holster.
Yeah, wow!
And I just let him know he was going to be the top story on tonight's news. So my suggestion would be, put the samurai sword down.
Yeah, no kidding. Deepers. Wow. Well, too bad you had to do that a couple of times. But at least you were prepared and, able to defend yourself if you had to.
Well, the good part about it is now he wants to buy a house from me.
Well, sometimes people get emotional and they make bad decisions, and then they come to you and they are thinking right again, Mm-hmm. That's awesome, dude. So is your training state related, or it's generally just general firearm safety and just realtors can also use it?
It's generally firearm safety. Realtors can use it. I actually have developed a realtor safety course that I've taught at Keller Williams. It's mainly, open houses, showing homes after dark, things like that, doing everything you can to stay safe.
Yeah, and now is that unrelated to firearm parts? So this is just general safety, firearm?
It's general safety. It's general safety. But if you choose to own a firearm, then I'll teach you the laws and teach you all the responsibility that comes along with that.
Okay, cool. How often do you do these just general? Is it just kind of a every once in a while thing, or do you do the realtor safety ones regularly? Or
the realtor safety I do upon request. The CCW training and the firearms training lately, with the slowdown in real estate, I've been doing those pretty much every other week.
Okay, cool. Now, I suppose you'd have to. I don't know that would there be an opportunity to do a regular realtor safety course for people if they wanted to, side of KW or just whoever? Is there a chance for that?
No. We're actually, I started doing a collaboration with 2 guys in my office. They're both ex-military. One of them, he actually does security for the UFC, and really good, very knowledgeable guy. We're literally trying to go to LVR and make this a class through LVR. Yes.
Oh, that's a great idea. Is there one already at all? A realtor safety course for CE?
There is. I think, what's his name? The guy that used to be on Happy Days. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about. And he's like, doesn't he do martial arts too?
No, that's Jimmy Dade who does martial arts.
That's who I was thinking of.
Right. Yeah. Jimmy Dade does martial arts. Can't think of the guy's name. Schwartz. What's his name? I can't think of his name. But anyway, he teaches a safety class, and I sat in his safety class because I needed the CE, and I just started joining in with him. And he's like, after the class, he said, "Man, you can teach this class with me anytime."
Wow, that's
So,
cool. Yeah, it's nice to have participation from the crowd, because those guys are talking all day, every day, and
right.
people are kind of like maybe you're falling asleep in there, so I can get how they would appreciate that. But yeah, no, I think that would be really cool if you guys did that. So I guess stay tuned for that, and we'll see what you come up with.
Okay.
So then I think from now we can go into, do you want to, should we pull up your firearm training sheet and you can kind of read through it and tell us what that entails? Does that sound good?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Since that thing is so little on the screen, I'm just going to tell you what I know.
Yeah,
so
let's do that.
Basically, for an initial certification, it's $95. Okay. For a renewal, it's $50. Now, by law, the class has to be an 8-hour class, which includes the shooting portion. Okay. You'll learn all the laws, the tips and tricks for concealed carry, firearm safety, firearm storage, and just things that happen. I keep the class extremely interesting, and I keep it extremely interesting by using real world stuff. A lot of the language that come out of my mouth is real life stuff. Okay. So I keep it real. I promise that the class will never be boring. And I hope you are not the person that comes in late, because if you're the person that comes in late, then you're the subject of everything that happens throughout the class. Okay. You're the person I'm going to pick on.
Oh, dang it.
You're the person.
That'll probably be me then.
I'm going to pick on you if you come in late. All right. But I teach you everything there is to stay safe, from cell phones, from parking your car, from the things as a realtor. When I do a walkthrough, first thing we do is we cut off the release cable in the garage, because there are people who are actually entering homes by going through the top seal and grabbing the release cable and pulling it out, which opens the door. Okay. Because I'm a personal protection specialist inside and outside of the home, I can literally come to your house and tell you every weak point in your house. Okay.
So what'd you say to combat that? What would you do?
We cut off the release cable in the garages.
Oh, so they can't manually release it.
Yeah, so it can't be manually released. Now, if you need to reach up, you just go up there and grab it and release it.
Okay. It's not hanging on that red handle anymore.
Correct. All right. Thing as far as I will change your whole mindset from little things like your garage door opener. Where do you keep your garage door opener? Mine is on the keychain. That way, if somebody gets in my car, they don't have access to the house.
Yeah.
Okay. Things as far as valet parking. Okay. We all have these modern cars that have navigation inside our cars. Do not program your home address on your navigation. Because if someone gets in your car and they have access, like valet guys, they know where you live.
Same with your registration, right? If they try to steal your car, you can look at the registration and or your navigation, hit home, go there, push your garage door opener, and they're inside the house.
There you go.
Steal your car.
Which was actually happening. There was a 24-hour fitness on Craig and Clayton in North Las Vegas. And that's what would happen. People would sit outside and they watch you go in the gym. They break in your car, grab your registration, grab your garage door open, and go to your house and rob you while you're working out.
Did they bring the car back? So you never know?
No, you could go home and realize that your house has been. No, they wouldn't take the car. They would grab the garage door opener.
Smart. Well, smart for them. Happy, but smart.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I think I used to work out at that. At 24-hour fitness back in the day.
Yeah. So it's a lot of things. I would change your whole mindset as far as safety and things you would never think about.
Right.
So
that's good. I think people get comfortable and unaware, and then you're kind of going through your day to day, and that's when problems could happen. So it's good to be aware and know what could happen, so that you at least have an idea of what to look for when you're doing stuff.
Absolutely.
Very good. What else? It says carry methods, incident aftermath. Tell me more about incident aftermath.
So say you have to shoot somebody. What are your steps? All right. Because I've had to pull my firearm twice this year, and I'm the person who's liable to shoot somebody. I have gun insurance.
So do I.
So just in case I shoot someone, I have an attorney on retainer.
Mm-hmm. What is it? VSCAA or what's it called?
Yeah, USCCA, United States Concealed Carry Association.
Yeah, I have that.
But there's other stuff out there. There's Legal Shield. I have a friend of mine who sells Legal Shield, and they have a gun writer, and it basically does the same thing.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's cool. And so then what that's good for is if you should have to use it, then you have an attorney you can call immediately. They want you to immediately call the attorney. If you have a card with a number on it and they're like, okay, tell me what happened. Here's what you're going to do. This is what you say. Mm-hmm. And immediately you're being protected and guided to do the right things for yourself.
Correct.
That's cool.
So, it's crazy because by law, we have the right to carry these things. All right. With the hopes that you never have to use it.
Yeah.
So it's better to have it not needed than needed and not have it. So
agreed. That's why I say, I like shooting guns. I just like it. It's fun for me. It's just kind of thrilling and fun. I don't even hunt. But the thing about it is that, as far as protection goes and laws and all that stuff and what people think about guns and this and that is fine. I'm totally okay with people's opinions on however they want to be on it. But my point is that if somebody else have a gun or have access to a gun legally or illegally, I don't care. They exist. So I just want to be able to protect myself against the person with the same thing. So if they have a gun, then I should have the best chances to survive that is to also have a gun. You know what I mean?
Amen.
And guns, they exist. So people can you can digitally print one with the plastic stuff. There's no matter what, you can get a gun. So in my opinion, it's just I want to have. I don't want to bring a samurai sword to a gunfight. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, they with our gun laws and tightening up gun laws, you got to understand the states with the strictest gun laws has the most violence.
Yep.
Why? Because bad guys don't follow the law. So, yeah.
But I mean, I get it. Like in a utopian world where nobody was going to hurt anybody or do anything, then sure, it doesn't matter. Fine. Then we don't need guns. But I think since they do exist and people can get them no matter what, then I think unfortunately you're either protected or you're not.
Right.
That's just one way to look at it. Yeah. So cool. I think let's wrap up here with the rest of what you have on this. Do you want me just to read it because it's small?
Sure, go for it.
It says things needed. So you would need firearm and you leave the ammo in the car.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't have a firearm, I will provide one with you. If any given class, I'm usually have about 12 firearms with me.
Okay, cool. Good to know. And then 30 rounds of ammo, full metal jacket practice rounds.
Correct.
And then you need eye protection and ear protection.
Correct.
Can those be rented or do they need to bring them from no matter what?
Well, no, you have to purchase those. And a lot of times I keep ear protections, little foamy ear plugs, eye protection at the range that I use. If you wear prescription glasses or even have sunglasses, that's acceptable for them.
Okay. And then there's an $11 range fee.
And actually it went up to 12. So now it's $12.
Okay, cool. And which range do you go to?
I go to Clark County Shooting Complex.
And that's the big one up there in Centennial? Or North
the
Vegas?
Big one, North Las Vegas, off the end of Decatur.
Yeah, so the big outdoor one, the 3-tiered?
Yes.
That's cool. Super cool. Wow, I was wondering how that worked. That's a sweet complex.
Yeah, that facility is. It's amazing because you pay one price. So if you came there when they opened at 7 a.m. and paid that price, you can literally shoot all day for that price. Where a lot of ranges in town will charge you a price, but it's per hour or per 2 hours or something like that.
Oh yeah. Well, this one's state run, isn't it? Or is it state run?
County run.
County run. Yeah, it's a beautiful facility. It's what is it? First tier.
The first tier is the shotgun range, the shotgun and the archery.
Archery.
Okay. Yeah. The other good thing about it is, say you come into town and you have an RV and you don't have a place to put it. They have RV spots available for $30 a day. Yeah.
Oh, really? Can you spend the night there?
Yes. Oh, yeah. You can stay up till, I think it's up to a month.
Wow.
Or no, it's up to 3 months you can stay.
Wow.
So what happens is you'll get people, some of the snowbirds to come down. And if you work you can actually go up there and work. And if you work a certain amount of hours, you can work in lieu of your rental, your RV rental.
Very cool. That's super cool. Yeah. Okay. Then what's the second tier?
The second tier is the sporting clay course.
Okay.
Yeah, you have the sporting clay course, which is in between the shotgun and the pistol and rifle range. Okay. And then when you go all the way to the top, you have the pistol and rifle range, rifle out to 200 yards and pistol out to 100 yards.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's been so long since I've been there. I took my boys when they were real little, and we shot. We rented a 22 pistol back then. I didn't have I have a 22 rifle, but we used the 22 pistols for them to shoot with a little bit. It was fun. It's cool facility.
Oh yeah, and I'm a huge advocate of teaching young people how to shoot.
Amen. Because if they don't have the respect needed for a firearm, and if they see it, I want them to hear what it sounds like. I want them to feel what it feels like. And I also want them to know that it's deadly. So since we were kids, they were never allowed to shoot point, Nerf guns and stuff at a face or an eye. But, anything like, maybe I can't remember what we said, like waist and below or something. We weren't allowed to shoot in the face or anything. To get them thinking, first of all, you can hurt somebody. You could knock somebody's eye out with some of those Nerf guns were pretty gnarly. But then also we taught them that if you don't ever shoot anything that you don't want to kill. And so you need to have that mindset all the time and then teach them when we were shooting the guns that this is a very, delicate situation and you need to have a lot of respect for these firearms. And I didn't want them to be like lackadaisical and like, look, they're going, like you hear people doing all the time. They were, I don't know if scared is the right one, but they were fearful and respectful of what a gun can do because they saw it firsthand and used it. They know what it felt like.
Well, yeah. And plus, the thing about it is our music and our media and our entertainment, they glamorize guns. Mm-hmm. Okay. Unfortunately, our young people tend to be curious. Mm-hmm. So if you take them out there and you train them, you get rid of the curiosity.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That is a perfect way to say it. Yeah.
Yes.
So I totally agree with it. And my kids are my older son really likes shooting guns. The younger one, he's not about it. He'll do it, but he's not like about it. He's just not. But at least they both have done it and they know what's up with it and they have at least a respect for it. And I think that's important.
I'm a big fan of getting young people into competition also.
I think that would be even better.
Yeah, it's amazing when you're young. You have the nice, fresh eyes. You have those nice, quick reflexes. We had a kid with us. Yeah, we had a kid who shot with us. He was 14 years old. And when he was 14 years old, he had won the junior world championship.
Wow.
So when he would show up at a competition at the age of 14, the question was, who's taking second place?
Yeah.
That's how good he was.
Swoop on him, like get him to play with you or on your team?
Oh, yeah. He helped me. He got me to be the shooter that I am.
Oh, very
because
cool.
he explained it to me the way he understood it. And I'm like, whoa, that makes sense. So, and then when he explained it to me, I started shooting better.
Wow.
So
that's cool.
Right
I was going to say, that's a cool way to shooting.
Yeah,
Well,
that's right.
that's
When
when
I
you
started
first
shooting
started shooting.
competition. When I started shooting competition, he explained it. Everyone was like, yeah, you got to do this amount of lead and that amount of lead. He basically said, Les, put the gun in front of the target, pull the trigger. Okay, that made sense.
Maybe don't overthink it.
Right.
I wonder if it's like golf too. You start off not knowing what's up, so you're just hitting stuff and you're doing it. And then the more you go into it, the more you're like trying to analyze things and check your swing and do all this stuff. And you end up sometimes just overthinking it too much. And it's like, let's go back to hitting the ball, man.
Right. I like to explain things like this. There's a reason why women basketball players are actually better than men basketball players.
What's that?
We, as men, we try to make it look good.
Oh.
Women play basic basketball. That way they have the higher shooting percentages and everything. So,
they were just talking about that in one of the football games over the weekend, that, if you're playing a team that might be a little better than you, then it's better to just stick to the fundamentals. Don't be flashy. Just get your 3, 5, 6 yards per down, convert your third downs, and move forward. And then just have your fundamentals down, and then let the other team make the mistakes. And then when they do, you'll be fundamentally sound, and you're just moving forward. And that makes a lot of sense.
Right, and that's why the San Antonio Spurs was always winning championships, because they beat you with basic basketball.
That's it.
So
doesn't have to be flashy.
No.
Well, cool. Well, maybe in a sentence or two, what do you think you could be your final thoughts on all of this, that you want to leave people with?
So, my final thoughts: 1, be safe out there. Okay. 2, be aware of your surroundings. 3, come buy a house from me. 4,
yes.
once you buy that house, open the garage door and look how ugly those floors are. And then call me up and say, hey, come do my floors.
And then come wash my car and teach me how to shoot a gun.
There you go.
I love it.
There you go.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Les. It's been great catching up and chatting with you a little bit. Hopefully I can see you for a little bit in Vegas when we're there. Tara, can you put Les's info maybe in the chat if you haven't already? I guess we have that one business card, and maybe it was on the firearms training too. But Les, maybe just give your phone number one more time.
My phone number is 702-426-2290. And you can call me for anything.
Yeah, that's true. And Les is a great guy. If you even just have questions about real estate or any of these other things he's talking about, like, he's here to help, just like most of the people that come on my show. We're here to give contribution and to come with value and just help people do better in whatever it is that they want to do.
Amen.
Yep. Well, thanks again. Join us. Let's see here. What day is today? So join us on this next Thursday for our National Real Estate News segment. Tara, do we have somebody for that this week?
I do not yet.
It's okay. We'll find somebody. And if not, then you just get my lovely face talking about real estate stats in the world. And join us every Tuesday and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Central. And we'll be doing one of these shows that we do. And thanks again for joining us today, and have a great rest of your week.